Hello and welcome to the Aman Talks. We are living in such a competitive world that we are becoming so self critical that we are beating ourselves for giving a bad performance and yet very slow to celebrate our small wins. Doesn't matter how small they are. We have Neepa Choksi, our special guest today. She is going to talk about small wins and how they prepare us for big wins. She is a purpose coach and a mental and physical wellness advocate and a mentor. She supports the cause for the educational needs of kids from low income families. Her mission is to empower individuals and companies to help them grow to their fullest potential. Thank you, Nipa. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Aman, for having me on the show. It's an honor. It's a pleasure to talk about, causes which are so close to us, which are so important, and yet in our daily routine, we're so grinded in everything that we just choose to forget them and ignore them. Thank you.
Th-
Thank you so much for having me, on such a sensitive topic.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You're doing such a great job with your coaching and with your content on LinkedIn, which reflects your mission already in there to empower others. What motivated you to be the kind of person you have become?
So basically, I come from a public service background. I come from a medical background. So that's always been the cause, to get there, to reach out to people. Just that over the years, I have made the shift from the clinical side to a different segment. So it's just a process that kept happening, and I guess I kept moving with it. So a couple of years ago, I started volunteering with an NGO, and which was catering to the education needs of low-income kids. So that's when a major metamorphosis happened at that time. When you look at a different segment of people, you look at a different segment of kids, you try to understand their requirements. At some places, it's no different from requirements of our kids, but yet at some places, it's very different. The areas in which they need support, and that's how that cause started getting close. I still associate with them, and try and do whatever I can in my capacity for them. Along the course, while that was happening, I got trained in narrative practices, and then that kept moving, chose to become a purpose coach. So basically, I think things just kept happening, and I just kept following the path the way
Hmm.
it happened. And like I said initially, it was always about reaching out to people. So
Hmm.
in whatever mode, in whatever fashion, so that is something that continues even today with me. So I reach out to people in whatever way I can, help them grow at their own end, overcome their barriers, breaking the boundaries, and taking the leap, which a lot of times we don't take because we just don't understand how to break the fear, how to break our hidden barriers and overcome them. So, yeah, I'm very happy in the space that I am right now. And it's also nice to see that your work does help you empower people and, give them that confidence in the life that, yes, they can move ahead and do whatever they wish to.
That's really
Yeah.
inspiring, and what you do and with your work by inspiring others, this world needs more people like you, and especially this, post-pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, things
Thank
are very
you.
difficult, and this is the
Yeah.
purpose of the show as well, to to provide the ideas and the strategies to help people live a prosperous life, and
Correct.
that's very good. And talking about the the topic of today, the small wins. And as I said earlier, that we are becoming so self-critical, we don't even realize our potential because we are just, beating ourselves for giving a bad performance, and yet we are very slow to celebrate our small victories.
So basically, we call it small win, but at the end of the day, it's a win. However big or small, it's a
Yeah.
win. So scientifically, it has been proved that whenever you're in that up zone and you celebrate something, there is a dopamine release. There's a gratification we feel for ourselves. So that's what every victory gives us. Where we have faltered along the way is we've always looked at the bigger picture, bigger goals that we seem to have set for ourselves. And like you said, we become very critical of ourselves. So until and unless we don't see ourselves got to that zone, we don't feel we have done or achieved anything. So what happens in the bargain when there are plenty of feel good factors along the way, we choose to ignore them. So it's basically it's like how we've kind of killed the child within us.
Hmm.
And because when you see kids, how they're happy at every little thing they do, and that's how makes childhood so happy and so full of joy and emotions.
Yeah.
So I guess as we grow, we also need to understand that, okay, while we are growing, while our responsibilities grow, while our goals grow, while our mottos grow,
Hmm.
but the process, the path is still there for us. And there are lots of things along the path which we need to pick up. When we start celebrating these wins, what we also get is an emotional boost, an emotional
Yes.
upkeep for ourselves, because ultimately you're celebrating. It's a joy, it's a moment which we are treasuring. And that is what
Hmm.
becomes important. When you're emotionally happy, you automatically start doing more for yourself.
Hmm.
It's a self motivation that comes into yourself. Our levels of creativity shoot up. Our ways of doing different things, figuring out more and more ways for ourselves get higher. So ultimately, it's nothing but it's a mind game which we are doing,
Hmm.
playing with ourselves all the time. The more we feel good, the more we can do good, the more we can deliver. So
Yeah.
the faster also we will move to our supposedly set big goal.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I guess it's important, to keep that domino effect in us going.
Yeah.
Even if in a day we are spending maybe as little as 5-10 minutes, trying to collect our daily wins and,
Hmm.
celebrating them. But that is important. Those moments need to be treasured, because over time, those little moments are going to add up to something big.
That's how I've been living that, getting 1% better every day. When you wake up with the feeling that, okay, you are a little bit better than yesterday, it boosts your self confidence. And as you said,
Absolutely.
energy and productivity as well, because you feel a little bit closer to your life goals. Because life won't change in a day. When we keep focusing on those micro changes, even like a little bit, so that sets the tone for the day. That's how I live. And then it's all about motivation. And then when I feel motivated every day because I feel that, okay, I did something better yesterday and I am a little bit better. It's a small idea, but it can set the tone for big to achieve big goals as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, because we are so used to remembering our faults and our weaknesses and highlighting them all the time. And as we all know, what we give more importance to is what grows. So I think over the course of period it becomes even more important for us to start collecting everything along the way, as
True.
that is pleasure as memory, because we definitely want that to grow.
Because our motivation doesn't stay the same at the same
Correct.
level every day. It doesn't matter how positive one person is.
Correct.
And so how to identify them? I have felt myself, from my experience, that everyone can easily resonate with them. The examples that we are so busy we don't even realize our potential. Like every day
Correct.
we are winning, as you said. But how to change the mindset here, that like how to make people aware that, okay, just with some examples, that okay, this is your win.
So it's, we are so programmed mechanically to behave in that fashion. Like I said, it's always the ultimate set goal. And that is it that we look at. So
Hmm.
everything along the way is blurred out. For me, it's like, we all understand life as a journey.
Yeah.
So it's like you're taking a road trip and, you're driving from point A to point B. But,
Hmm.
what is it that's going to make the journey more fascinating, more interesting, more fun? Is it that you just keep driving till you reach your destination? You don't look around, you don't look anywhere, you don't stop
Yeah.
by for a beautiful picture, you don't stop
Hmm.
by for a feasty meal along the way? I mean, what is the kind of journey that you want to do?
Hmm.
You want it to be a boring ride on a
Yes.
dry path, or
Hmm.
you want to involve those pit stops, click your pictures, pick up those memories, and keep moving along. So when I talk of the wins in our everyday life, that is what exactly that means. That while you are going, start identifying yourself.
Hmm.
Do not compare yourself with somebody else. Oh, that one has achieved so much, and that one is
Yeah.
probably already up there. When am I going to be up there? Maybe that's not really your goalpost. Your
Yeah.
goalpost is elsewhere. And in the bargain, you're missing out seeing what you have done for yourself today. It could be something as little as, okay, maybe I woke up 5 minutes early. That's an achievement in itself. Maybe I spend 5 minutes reading extra today. I mean, that's an
Yeah.
achievement in itself, also, because ultimately, at the end of the busy day, you have managed to pull out those minutes for yourself.
Hmm.
And each day, when you start identifying them, you're going to do it more and more often.
Hmm.
Like I said, compare yourself to a child who's always excited,
Yeah.
always happy, always jumping around. You have the parent coming back home at the end of the day, or they're seeing somebody after, maybe a couple of hours or a few days. and how excited they are, and they jump up to it and they start talking and narrating every little thing of their life. So
Hmm.
it's like every moment is a win and a victory for them. So maybe
That's
there's a
true.
lot for us to learn from them. At times, we may not see results of what we want to do, or we may not uh, have it the way we want to. But I think even the effort that goes behind doing it is equally important. So
Hmm.
even to recognize that effort, appreciate yourself for that effort.
Yeah.
Make a note somewhere of your daily victories. Maybe
Yeah.
that is an important thing. Maybe something like a chart in the room. Okay, I was up 5 minutes early. I've spent 10 minutes more with my child. Today I've given 5 minutes to a particular talent or a hobby of mine. But this is something I did for the first time today. Maybe write down your experiences. Get
Hmm.
into a habit of doing it,
Yeah.
and maybe that's how you spoke, like people don't know about this concept.
Yeah.
Like when you do your resumes, people don't know what to write into that,
Hmm.
besides the academic qualification and whatever they've been doing in the professional front, as a very mechanical resume.
Yeah.
Most resumes will have interest, hobbies, and all of those things missing, because somewhere that's not considered important. But the day you start noticing it, the day you start putting it down and making it visible, is the day you'll realize the importance of every little thing. And I guess that habit is, what needs to be cultivated.
Yeah.
And once the habit is there, it's going to become very natural for you to, just pull out everything and sit there.
Yeah, these are very great points you mentioned, especially about the comparison. The
Yeah,
one side there is a positive comparison with the sorry, with the kids, and other side we compare ourselves with others without knowing their reality. What I notice is that most of the people need to readjust their progress scales so that they start
right.
recognizing their accomplishments. It doesn't matter how small they are. They are using bigger scales do what I noticed in the clients and other people, that they take their small victories, they throw on the huge scales when they compare them with others, but without knowing their reality. We always say don't compare your second chapter with someone's 10th chapter, and it will lead to low self-esteem and confidence, because it's,
Absolutely.
as you said, it's your journey, your road. The way we are living, we are always comparing and knowing without knowing their reality. So then what happens is we start feeling that okay, we are not enough.
Exactly. It's just, and I think for adults, because we set our standards so high, we make it very difficult for ourselves to be happy and to stay in a safe zone. So we're
Yeah.
always, it's always in that run of the mill thing, churning out this, churning out that, and always acquisition of material pleasures, material wealth.
Yeah.
To celebrate something, you need to be certified by somebody. You need to have a trophy in hand, but that's not necessary
Yeah.
celebration.
Yeah, I know that's from your point. Coming to the next question about the social media and the news. We are getting brainwashed. Big wins are being celebrated. You see every day. Investors, they became millionaires overnight at an early age. And when most of the people see this, I think they get demotivation, because they feel, oh, you know what, I did this yesterday, talking about the small wins, and they feel
Yeah,
my win is nothing, because look at this
nothing.
guy, and in 1 year he got costly house, costly cars, and look, here I am, I'm 35, I'm 40, and I am nowhere. So what do you think here?
Yeah, so that's exactly the scene. I think as an individual, we got to understand, as much as it's nice and great to spend time on social media, tune up to those news channels and understand them. But the core of it is that something which is very external to us, where we need to focus on ourselves. It's a very internal feeling, it's a very internal persona of ourselves. And I don't think it's only more and more unjust
Hmm,
to ourselves that we are comparing our internal selves and our aspirations with something which is so external,
hmm,
which is probably unconnected to us, unrelated to us in a lot of ways. We don't know anybody personally out there. We may know the
yeah,
name of all the big guys, we may know their achievements, but do we really know them? Do they really know us? Do I even matter to them? Does my
yeah,
existence affect them? And then on what grounds am I comparing myself with them? What is it that's pushing me to do it? See, media and news channels have a very specific agenda in mind. Like, no offense to them, but they're going to sell success stories because that is what sells.
Hmm.
And then that sets the vicious cycle rolling. They are selling success stories, I'm looking at them, they're
Hmm.
getting more audience, they're getting more TRP, I'm feeling very low about myself. Again, the media will come up with another success story, again I'm watching it, and again I'm feeling very low. So that whole effect, where even though it's not a feel good factor, I'm still watching it. So somewhere I'm making myself get used to that pain of not getting what that person on screen has got.
Hmm.
So I think that's just a habit which we need to come out of it at our end and understand that I am different from that person. While
Yeah.
it's great to see them as motivational
Influence. Yeah.
influencers,
Yeah.
but to incorporate them and take them into our system is
Hmm.
not something that works. It's very important to understand what
Hmm.
uh, media is trying to portray,
Yeah.
and am I trying to take that message, or am I trying to bring it on my personal self.
Hmm.
So I think that becomes a very important thing. We can learn from people,
Yeah.
what they have used, how they have done things, and what is it that has taken them there. But if
Hmm.
I don't get there, probably that's not where I want to be. Everybody cannot be sitting up there, because again, which means that becomes a new base, and again, there's a new high which we are looking at.
Yeah.
And apparently, there's no end to that rat race.
Yeah.
So the idea is, I think each one of us to build our own self,
Hmm.
like keep identifying your individual effort, your talent, your strengths, bring them on together and see what best we are churning out of it. You never know what we make of ourselves tomorrow when we start focusing within us,
Yes.
start discovering within us. Like I said, the biggest pauses are when you ask people, okay, what do you do in your free time?
Hmm.
And it's like a lot of faces just go blank, like, am I supposed to be free?
Hmm.
That whole mindset, if I'm free, which means I'm doing nothing, so I'm not supposed
Yes.
to have free time. But you are supposed to have free time.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be up there doing something for yourself
Yeah.
besides the routine that is required, because that's a certain responsibility. But outside that also, you have a responsibility towards yourself.
Hmm.
So there's no point badgering yourself, or beating yourself up just because the media has shown
Hmm.
something. Maybe what we are trying to look at is different from what they are trying to show.
Yeah.
There's no point putting yourself on those kind of comparison scales. There's no point to judge ourselves based on somebody else's
Yes.
parameter success story. See, there are no buyers or takers for failure stories, which is why the media is never going to show them.
Hmm.
But today, if I want to feel good about myself, there are lots of other examples I can look at and understand where they are, where did they come from, and they are not sitting on media, but yet they are there. It's this whole existence of a person which becomes important here, not just the ones which are shown up there.
Hmm.
Not just okay because everybody's tagging something on social media, I am missed out, so let me just go and tag myself. It's all right. I think the ability to be honest over here becomes important. Not to give in to those social pressures, because ultimately social pressures are formed by each one of us again, because we form the society.
Yeah.
So somebody somewhere has to come up there, stand up there, and break the social barriers. Come out of that and say, okay, fine. If even if everybody else has been there, done that, I haven't been there and done
Yeah.
that. So I think it's that courage to churn up that the audacity in ourselves to
Hmm.
get out there and be like, okay, it's all right if I didn't do it. Keep consoling yourself that it's all right,
Yeah.
and probably that is a place where you award yourself that, okay, I could be honest with it.
Yeah.
So these are like really instances which we need to pull out of our everyday lives. And I guess it's more important for us to identify with ourselves. The day we start doing that, we'll automatically see that the external influence on us remains as an external influence. The demarcation will become very natural to us. It's not going to bother us. It's not going to touch us. It's not going to push us. It's not going to set us on an emotional upheaval. But we'll be able to sit through it with a very calm mind, understanding that I am not that person and I am a different person. And I need to be happy in my zone. I need to celebrate myself for who I am, the very person that I am.
Yeah, no, these are very great points you covered, and especially again about, the filtration of the information, and don't believe
Yeah,
everything and anything you see on social media. It's your life and your journey. And I
correct.
think the best way is to compare yourself with yourself every day.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, you take influence, you take motivation. We need to remind ourselves to be more patient, persistent, and consistent with our efforts. And look at the great companies, Apple, FedEx, and Nike. Small wins are the way, how they built,
Absolutely.
and no
Absolutely.
product can be built in a day. And the same way, if we look at the great people, those who did extraordinary things, like Winfrey Oprah, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan,
Yes.
they started small with being persistent, consistent, and being patient. So I think we need to remind ourselves daily, and we should live by this mantra, because we can get motivation, but the main motivation is to when we wake up in the morning to see if we are better than yesterday, even
Absolutely.
1%. Yeah, these are very good points. I hope these points will help our viewers
I'm
focus.
sure,
Yeah.
see, what we don't understand is like when you mention personalities like Ofra and they have also had a journey which they
Yes.
have stuck to, and they have taken that as their own journey. They've not compared it with anybody else. They've not used a different somebody else's lens to view themselves. That is why they are where they are today.
Yes.
So even when we look at them, what becomes more important for us is to understand the path that has led them to that.
Yes.
Why is it that they managed to dawn on it so successfully and get to where they are? Those are the learnings that become important from them. Not that, okay, oh, she's up there and I'm not there at that age.
Hmm.
That's all right.
Yeah, the best example I always give from my personal experience, that I was getting training to be a radio jockey. That was
Ah, okay.
back home in India. I always wanted to be a TV host or a commentator. So I went to the class, and after 2, 3 days, I saw one girl. She was so good. I started comparing myself with her.
Hmm.
I, and I felt the same thing. I got into the trap of comparison. I went home. I was like, oh, you know what? I have to be like her. And then
Yeah.
2, 3 days until I saw her, I was like, okay, I would ask her, I would be friend with her, and I would ask her, give me some tips. So what I did, I 2, 3 days, I kept thinking about this. And then when I met her, when I asked, okay, tell me what you did. And she said, oh, next week is my last day. I finished my course and I had been here for 6 months. And I was like, okay, see, the just a small example,
Yeah.
3 days and 6 months. And the same way we are comparing ourselves with others, they are ahead of the game. Why? Because they started early. They are 10 years early than you.
Yeah.
And I felt
No,
good. I
this
said,
this in fact happens
yeah,
to everybody.
yeah,
It's great that you've got out an example, but all of us live on that scale. Oh, this one is better than me. What do I do to get to that? Or I'm useless because that one is better than me. It's such a commonplace comparison all the time. That we need to break those barriers. We need to come out of that. We need to ensure the next generation doesn't grow up in the same fashion,
yeah,
because it's just so ingrained in us that you have to compare yourself with somebody
yeah,
better. But
yeah,
we don't understand, if I'm comparing myself with somebody better, there is again somebody better than that better.
yeah.
And then there's somebody better than that better. And there is no end to that.
And then I realized, okay, 6 months she started earlier, and I am
Exactly.
just this 3 days old
Yeah.
student.
Like you
So
enter and she's
yeah,
finishing.
and then I said, okay, what is the solution here? Then I found that, okay, I mean, if I want to be like her in a week, what I have to do, I have to put a lot of efforts. Then I found that small, and steady optimizations are the way. Every day we do something. Every day when we make our habit, and then it becomes a week and a month and in a year. So it becomes the part of who you are in a default setting. Then just focus on improvement, not on the outcome,
Correct.
and just better your craft every day. Yeah.
All we can do is what's within our control. What's outside
Yeah.
our control, we there's no way we can do anything about it. So it's best to stick on with what we can do and give it our 100%, so we get the outcome that we desire or we're looking for.
Yeah. And coming to the next question, I have about the people who have lost their jobs. It is very difficult time going on. What can be done to motivate them? Talking about the small habits to
Um,
to keep them
lots,
going.
lots can be done there itself, and understand that, there's a very unusual year,
Yeah.
it's not that you're going to have all these kind of years always in life. It happens sometimes, and we cannot fight nature, but all we have to do is accept it the way it is. It takes time to accept something, especially when your loss has been very major in that phase.
Yeah.
We personally go through phases of denial, bargaining, but ultimately everybody accepts. The timing may be timing may differ, maybe sooner for some, later for the others. But the sooner you accept, the better it is for you to move on. Like I said, at every stage, it's the effort that counts. You know, a job gone, of course, cannot be got back because a lot of companies, industries have had a very hard hit. They've shut down for a lot of reasons. Like for example, the hospitality industry
Yeah.
across the world has been hit really, really, really bad. Sometimes it's hard to find an open door,
Mm.
but it's not that you never will. So it's probably, it's nature's way of telling you, okay, take a break, give yourself that pause and start discovering yourself. Look at what you can do, look at what you have, and you keep the efforts going. Do not stop at, okay, 1 or 2 or 3 days. That consistency is what's going to work along the way. As unfortunate as it seems, and always it's easier said than done, but the bitter truth remains that you still have to be persistent out there. You got to keep
Yes.
trying. If you have a set target that I am going to reach out to so many people in a week, I'm going to expand my network, this is my next goal. Set new goals for yourself, give yourself a little challenges, because that will some moment open up some door for you for sure. There is
Mm.
no way that your efforts will get wasted. The
Yeah.
results, like I said, may come in sooner or later. So it calls for a lot of patience and perseverance. But ultimately, that's the game. So, like they say,
Yeah.
success is a journey, it's not
Yes.
the end
Yeah.
process. So that journey has to keep on going. You cannot say it's a big hurdle or I see a dead end, so I stop here.
Yeah.
If it's a dead end, turn back and figure out another route. It's like a maze of roads sitting there.
Yeah.
Figure out another route which will take you to your
Yeah.
destination. And ultimately, again, it comes into habit formation, that I'm not going to give up. It's a habit I'm going to continue nurturing and doing it day after day. Doesn't matter if each day feels worse than the other. In moments like this, it's very hard to pick up even a small win or even a bit of the word called win, but that's okay if 1 or 2 days or a few days, you've not been able to set that out for you. But to understand that, if you do not make an effort, there is
Mm.
absolutely no way ahead.
Yeah.
So the only way ahead is to keep trying by all means, all resources, and by everything possible that you
Mm.
can. Keep giving your best, and you will always see a better and a new version of you surfacing each and every minute.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true. The rejection is just a redirection, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter you fail today. Tomorrow is another day, another opportunity. So I
Yes.
think, yeah. So if you focus on the positive, and as you already said, that we can only control so much. If something is
Yes.
beyond our control, and we can just take a lesson from it.
Yeah. No, I'm sure there is always a way ahead. There is always something up there. It's the
Yeah.
ones who give up along the way will never reach there, will never find it.
Yeah.
You need to keep going ahead because it's an endless path.
Hmm.
It is not. That's why, when you say, oh, we look at that one big goal post, like that one finishing line, it's not literally a running
Yeah.
race. That you reach the finishing line, and if you're the first one, you get your medal and your certificate, and everybody applauds you, and you're out
Yeah.
from there. No, that's not really what
Yeah.
life is. It's like a relay. You're just running and running and running and running and running.
Yeah.
Your pace may change, your direction may change.
Yeah.
You may take a small pause in between,
Hmm.
to rest it out and rejuvenate yourself, and then start moving.
Yeah.
But the journey always continues. So keep
Yeah.
keep the momentum going. Keep the enthusiasm up there. Collect people around you who are there to make you happy, give you the feel good factor.
Yeah.
Look for moments in life, like the best thing I would say is to maintain a journal, of every little thing, because it comes very handy in difficult times. When you go back, you look at
Hmm.
your happiness journal, it takes you back to memories which give you that instant high, which set you apart again for another day, for another challenge. So I guess that
Yeah.
is important.
True. Yes. That's very important. Yeah, coming to the
Absolutely.
next question about the small wins at workplace, especially after this post pandemic, how to foster a recognition rich environment at workplace, which is very important for the teams and for the employees to help them stay motivated. If they are motivated, they can achieve anything for the organization.
Absolutely. I think what happens is, with everything moving online or the work from home culture that has picked up in the last couple of months, It may not be possible to have those little celebrations that you have at office where you just go and high five a friend, or
Yes.
you just go and step out for a quick coffee celebration. That probably may not happen, but yet the online space has opened up a lot of ways to celebrate today. And if you know a particular team member has done really well, you can appreciate them on a next meeting or a call you have. Set up a special call to appreciate and applaud them. Endorse them with another special project. Give them that one up. Making them realize, okay, you have gone higher on the capability
Hmm.
bar, on the delivering bar. So there is a bigger challenge waiting there up for you. Give them a simple gratitude note. I think
Yeah.
everybody loves that. That makes everyone really happy. Organize a game night, like a movie night with the team
Yeah.
if your team has really done well.
Hmm.
You could do an online dinner night, everybody get in
Yeah.
your meals, plan or
Yeah.
menu, and bring it up there, have it with fun games, music.
Yeah.
I think as we say, pandemic and work from home, but I think as human mind works, a lot of wonders have also happened during this time. People have figured their way around every little thing. And lots of ways for companies. They all have their websites running there. A lot of them are on social media. Go, put up your achievement on social media. Applaud, uh, applaud them on various platforms. Make a mention of them. I think there are endless ways, even though it is online, even though you're not meeting in person. So there is no limit to it. I don't think anywhere celebrations have come to an end. People have all figured
Yeah.
out their ways.
Yeah.
If really somebody has put in a lot of effort, appreciate the effort. Give them an additional recovery day off. Let them take it at their own pace. Give them like a half day. I'm sure, and what happens is once companies adopt these policies itself act like game changers and big motivators for the team to get going there. Because ultimately, everybody looks at that little appreciation coming from everywhere. A lot of studies have shown, I think, majority people quit jobs or shift jobs, especially in the US, is because of lack of
Yeah.
appreciation. So I think that is what everybody looks for at the first time. Maybe, a job well done, like a thank you,
Hmm.
for all the support. Thank you for growing our company. Thank you for adding value to our company.
Yeah.
It means a lot to every employee.
Yeah, these are very great points you mentioned. Even I feel that small notes about thank you, as
Yeah.
a I like to do the surprise thank you note, and even the person doesn't know until he shows up at work. A small thank you for staying late, and it
Yeah.
has doesn't have to be big, thing. Of course, like these things will set them for big
Yeah.
wins as well. I feel if we do these small acts of
Yeah.
appreciation think then they feel motivated every day.
It keeps your people
Yeah.
together. And
Yeah.
ultimately, you're making it more personal. The day a
Yeah.
person starts seeing that company as their own,
Yes.
the effort, the mood with which the mood that they bring and the enthusiasm that they bring is going to be very different
Yeah.
versus working for somebody else. I mean, you're doing the same job, you're going to come to the same desk, you're going to deliver the same thing, but the intention and the mood with which you do it brings about a lot of difference.
It's all about their self-esteem and confidence and self-worth.
Absolutely.
This is what I always say. If your employee, if your team doesn't feel valued, if you make them feel they don't have
Absolutely.
value, what you expect them to deliver? That's why I say if you want to
Absolutely.
expect $1 billion results from your teams, you have to make them feel that way as well. And it can be done every day with little things, as you already mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, you have a whole set of magic words sitting out there. Go all
Hmm.
out, use them. Create that magic in the company because everybody has their own difficulties, their own problems. For the moment, but for the time that they are sitting with you on a call or in whatever platform, make them feel good about themselves. Give them that incentive that they want to come and spend time in company meets. They want to deliver for the company. They want to see the company grow because those collectively positive emotions are going to are going to lead to growth of the company, and with the company, so the employee knows I'm going to grow. And each time they grow, they have that confidence that the company is going to invest back in us. So I have a lot to take home with the growth of the company. So again, it's like a whole process which goes through the entire cycle that churns around, from one to the other and again back to the first one. So I guess that's important to keep the teams going. I mean, while this is a online space, the same things was also as much important when you're in office.
Mm.
So again, like we said, the reviews may happen at every quarter or every 6 months or whatever the company policies work, but You cannot have the root to those 3 months and 6 months sitting dry. You got to fill it up with a lot of gratitude, with a lot of kindness out there, with a lot of appreciation, acknowledgement, to ensure that what you see at the end of the quarter is extremely productive and happy for the company.
Yeah, this is true. What will be your final words for the viewers?
Keep going, keep celebrating, every moment, everything that you see around you, everything that you have in you. Keep discovering, rediscovering yourself, and stay happy for every little moment that you have of your life.
True. This is life. Such is a way of life, and
Yes, yes,
every day brings new opportunity and new
exactly.
hopes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank yourself for the every moment that you're breathing
Mm.
healthy. I think that's the biggest gift we can,
Yes.
consider ourselves, given the times that we are living in.
Thank you so much, Neepa. Thank you so much for your sharing. Thank you so much for sharing great ideas. And I wish you all the best for your all endeavors and keep up the good work and keep inspiring us. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Aman, and I'm truly, truly honored and grateful to be a part of your show.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me here.
Thank you for watching us. Wish you all the best for everything. Stay safe and healthy. I'll see you next week with another episode. Take care.